Hello, welcome to my new Azure Data Engineering series. I know it's been a few months, but I'm finally back. So I have been deep diving into the latest cloud updates to bring you something special. So as all we know, we are discussing about so our kind of data engineering series, especially we have stopped in between. So today I'm going to discuss about the one of the most important topic and most discussing topic during the interview. That is nothing but the Delta Lake. Okay. So first, before going to the topic, we just discuss about what is the Delta Lake and why we need this, because already we do have the data lake, right? So as a data engineer, we must know this topic. So that's why I am into in this topic, as I know this is the very frequent question I have seen. Okay, so as you see in the screen itself, like delta lake is nothing but the it is a kind of the transactional storage layer, so built on top of a data lakes that adds readability, performance and streaming support. So before we are going to discuss about the open source or everything, right? So there you have seen we are running on top of the data lakes. So data lake is nothing but we all know like it is a kind of the storage layer. So where we are going to store all kind of the data. So but there is a kind of lack of features. So that's why they have introduced the delta lakes basically. So what are those? I mean, you can see there, right? So asset transaction, schema enforcement, and kind of the reliability. So whenever we are storing the data in the data lakes, there is no that much capacity to store the huge volume of the data, and there is no kind of the secure to store the data in the storage itself. So that's why they have introduced the kind of the delta lake, so which will give all those kind of the capabilities. Okay, so basically, as I said, delta lake is nothing but the data lake. Along with it will maintain the transaction logs. So whatever the data we are writing into the delta lakes, right? So it will create the some kind of the logs. So we will discuss them in further. So before that, we will just look into it how it works internally. So whenever we are creating the delta tables on a delta lake, so basically it will create the three kind of the files. So one is the kind of the delta logs, those are the kind of the JSON files we can say, and one are the kind of the checkpoint files. So and also it will create the CRC files. Okay, so then coming to the individual thing, right? So first we will go to the JSON files, that is nothing but the delta log file. If we discuss, so basically, this JSON is a kind of the transaction log file. So as we already discussed, so Delta Lake it will support the ACID transactions, right? So basically, ACID transactions are nothing but so those are the kind of the DML operations we are performing on the top of the Delta Lake. So then it comes to the Delta logs, as I said, right? So whenever we are creating the table. So whenever we are creating any table, that is nothing but the delta table. So basically this delta table, whenever we are performing the any kind of the DML operation, so for every change to a delta table, either insert, update, delete, or any schema changes is happening, right? So what it will do? So it will record it as a JSON file in the delta log folder. So why it is storing as a delta log folder means, so basically to tracks the transaction. So whenever we are creating the any we are performing the any kind of the operations, right? So whenever if you want to go to the kind of the previous versions of the data, and if you want to track those informations, right? So then we need those logs actually. And also it will provide the one of the kind of the time travel future, as we know. So as we said, whenever we are creating the any operation, it will create the one versions of the data. So when for example we are creating the one delta table, so which will contain the millions or billions of the rows. So for example, if you want to the go to only for particular version of the data, so how we can do, we can use the kind of the time travel option. So this is one of the future we do have in the Delta Lake. So basically it will, revert back us to the previous versions of the data. So by using the timestamp as of, or else we can use the version as of. So this is one of the powerful feature we do have in the Delta Lake. And also, so we have the checkpoint file. So as I said, like, whenever we are creating the delta table, it will create the kind of the JSON log files along with the checkpoint files as well, right? So what is this checkpoint file? So basically, whenever we are performing the any kind of the operations, right? As I said, it will generate the one kind of the JSON file, that are the log files, as I said, right? So whenever we do have the like a multiple JSON files, just now only we have discussed about the, like, millions of the rows or billions of the rows in the, table, right? So whenever we are creating the so many kind of the row data we do have, so then it will create the multiple JSON files, right? So to make this reads faster, so we need to compact these JSON logs into the Parquet files. So this checkpoint file, so what it will do, so it will optimize the query performance. I mean to say, it will reduce the number of files so which we need to read. So based on that table state, I mean to say, it's nothing but it will create a snapshot of the table as a Parquet file. So after JSON logs, right, this checkpoint are incrementally applied during the while we are reading the data. So and also we do have the CRC file. So CRC file is nothing but the, like, it is a kind of cyclic redundant check. So that means it is nothing but the, it will verify the file integrity. So if there is any file corrupts, and if there is any like kind of the discrepancies will happen to the files, right? So it will ensure that the data reads matches when we are writing the data. So that means to make the, easy reliability, we are using the this CRC file. Okay, how they are working, right? I mean to say, so basically this JSON log files, it will tracks the all the changes whatever we do have. So this checkpoint file, it will optimize the reads, and the CRC file, it will ensure the data integrity again. So, and if we see the like kind of, these are the information only we do have. So, delta log files, it will store inside the delta log or folder. So, each JSON file, it will represent the one transaction on the delta table. So, whatever the operations we are performing, it contains everything. So, and the checkpoint file, as I said, it will store as a Parquet file. So, basically, it is nothing but it will create the snapshot of the table state, I mean to say. And we knew, already we do have the data lake. So why we need delta lake, and what is the difference between them if we see, right? So basically, in the data lake, right? So data lake, we all know, like kind of the ADLS we can say, or a data lake we used to say, right? So which is nothing but it is also kind of the, storage repository we can say. So where we are storing our raw data, maybe the raw data contain either structured data, semi-structured data, or unstructured data. So it to store all this data, we will use the kind of the data lakes. So basically this data lake, it will store the raw files like CSV, JSON, Parquet. That means it can't have its own standard table structure. Okay, so but in the delta lake, as I said, it is a kind of transaction log it is going to maintain. So it will store the data as a Parquet file. So that means it will add some structure on the top of the file storage. And the most important one is the asset transaction. So basically, in that data lake, there is no transaction support. If there is any, we are writing the data, right? Maybe sometimes it can corrupt the data due to the lack of the asset properties also. But in the delta lake, it will support the asset transactions as well. So we can ensure the data correctness as well. So and also in we do have the kind of update, delete, merge operations, right? So basically in the data lake, we can append only the data. So that means it cannot handle the change data capture easily. But in the delta lake, it will support the kind of all these operation, update, delete, merge, all these operations it will perform. And one of the most we already discussed, that is the time travel. So in the data lake, there is no version history basically. So we can't, back to the any versions of the data if you want to go back. So, but in the Delta Lake, we do have the kind of, that we can go to the previous versions of the data. We can roll back them actually. So these are the main kind of the difference we do have. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And since now we will get all our interview series, so keep watching. Thank you so much for your support. Please like, share, and subscribe.